What's up today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the balance changes that went in effect today and talk about what this affects and what we're going to think about the air spam meta going forward in the future. The four things that this balance change affects is the Mortar, Wall Wrecker, Super Dragon, which I know a lot of people wanted nerfed, and the Dragon Rider as well. So this will be the second nerf on the Dragon Rider. So if you guys like today's video, smash that like button for me. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notification bells so you know when these videos are coming. We'll get right into the action. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to be talking about the balance changes that we are going to have in effect today. First thing is the Mortar hit point increase. And this actually affects Town Hall 10 all the way up to Town Hall 14 from levels 8 to level 14. The one thing I will say is it is actually gaining quite a bit of hit points. It is going from 1250 to 1600 on a maxed mortar. And what that will affect on some things is just funneling. Before we were able to use one balloon and one minion, and that would pretty much take care of a mortar or two balloons. And you know, this might affect that a little bit, where we might have to invest, more troops just to get rid of mortars, and that might get a little frustrating on funneling. Other than that, I really don't see this being that much of a difference because it's not going to be dealing any more damage, and the RC ability will still one-shot this building. So other than just, funneling purposes, I don't really see the increase on hit points really mattering that much. The next things on the list, as you can see, we got a Wall Wrecker hit point increase. That's actually going to affect all four levels of the Wall Wrecker and bringing up the level 4 one to 7,000 hit points. This is not the most used siege machine out of all five. Probably the least most used, to be honest. I don't ever use the Wall Wrecker. Every now and then, depending on the war base, I may use one. But now that the Flame Flinger's in the game, I feel like the Wall Wrecker is just completely obsolete. So this one, I don't think anybody's really going to care about at all. The next two are Dragon Rider HP decrease and Super Dragon HP decrease. So this is actually going to be a pretty big change in my opinion, but I'm not sure if it's going to affect just too much overall. I mean, we're losing 200 hit points on the Dragon Rider, but it's still at 4,700 hit points, which is insane. And then the Super Dragon's losing 300 hit points total, but it's still at 6,700, which is just an insane troop, or insane amount of hit points on any troop, to be honest, especially one that does the amount of damage per second the Super Dragon does. And that is one important piece to remember on both of these troops. We are not losing any damage per second on these troops, so we will still output the same amount of damage. So we might just have to tweak some of our army compositions, maybe use skeleton traps or skeleton spells, or maybe freeze spells more. Just stuff to help protect these troops, just because they have a little less HP, but they're still going to be doing the same amount of damage. Alright guys, while we talk about this a little bit, we're just going to show some Super Dragon attacks at Town Hall 13. But, overall, on us losing hit points on the Super Dragons and Dragon Riders, I just really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think it's still going to take almost the same amount of air defense shots to take one down. It's still going to take the same amount of seeking air bombs to take one down. So, I just don't really see how taking 300 hit points off the Super Dragons is really going to slow this troop down. The damage per second is the same, like I said before, and that's really all that matters with this troop, is just how much damage it's outputting. We could work around with our spells and different things to really help this troop continue to be as dominant as it is. And obviously, what is the most important is just breaking down the bases you're attacking. And if you break that, if you attack from the right angle on any base that you attack on, you're going to get triples. It's just how the game works. I mean, there's always going to be flaws to certain bases you build, so it's just a matter of finding the flaws and taking advantage of them, and you're still going to get triples with these Super Dragons. The troop is insane. 6,700 health is still an obnoxious amount of health, either way you look at it. and I just don't think it's going to make that big of a difference because the damage per second's the same, and it does a ton of damage, and it obviously has a splash damage as well, which is also very unique, but just absolutely insane when you really think about it. Alright, so on to the Dragon Rider. Just to kind of put things in perspective, so you guys know, the Dragon Rider will now have 100 less hit points than an Electro Dragon. So level 5 Electro Dragon has 4,800 hit points. The Dragon Rider will now have 47. So just to show you how much hit points that really still is, the Dragon Rider had more than the Electro Dragon to begin with. I think Supercell realizes that this troop is extremely overpowered. It's already taken 2 nerfs, a half tile less range, and now 200 less hit points. But this troop is still going to be extremely strong. We didn't lose any damage per second overall, and we're not losing any damage on the explosion. And let me tell you, that explosion has saved me so many times on the Town Hall if I bring a Dragon Rider inside my blimp, or just a Dragon Rider in general getting over the Town Hall towards the end of the attack and helping me take down that Town Hall. So I really just don't feel like this is still going to affect the troop that much. I mean, yeah, it is 200 less HP, but there are going to be ways around it. And one important thing to remember about Hydra is the normal dragons are not taking any nerf. So if we have to swap out a couple Dragon Riders and maybe put in a couple more normal dragons, we will do that. Obviously, we'll work on the spell set as well. You know, we're moving on from the clones at the 5,500 range. We're going to work on using Rage's skeleton spells, invisibility spells. Alright guys, and the last 2 changes, we'll talk about them a little bit more. Obviously the Wall Wrecker, I just don't think very many people use that Siege Machine to really have an effect. Once the Log Launcher came out, it really wasn't used at lower Town Halls at all, and then the Siege Barracks as well, and then now that we got the Flame Flinger, I mean, you don't even use the Wall Wrecker at higher Town Halls just because the Flame Flinger is a way better option. So I don't know if this is like a last hope chance to try to get people to use that Siege Machine, but I just don't think it's really going to matter a whole lot. Obviously, it's really not even that much hit points, and it's not going to do any more damage to walls either. So, I mean, I just don't really see the point in it, at even adding the hit points, because I still just don't think anybody's going to use it regardless. And then the last change about the mortars, we did talk about that a little bit. Going from 1,250 to 1,600 is actually a pretty big boost. I mean, 350 hit points is pretty significant. And like I said, on certain things, like the funneling is going to be the biggest aspect, because you're not going to be able to use, you know, wizards to take it down quickly, or a balloon and minion to take it down. So you might actually have to invest more troops just to funnel a simple mortar, just because of the huge hit point boost that it's going to get. And I think that's probably a good thing from a defensive perspective, that we add that up to 1,600. Just, you know, it's still going to go down one shot to the RC ability, but just a simple fact of making defense a little better, I definitely agree with this one. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. Obviously, it's not going to do more damage per second, but it will definitely affect funneling on certain attacks with the hit points. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. As always, appreciate you guys stopping in on an everyday basis and supporting the channel. Had another sweet video for you guys today talking about this upcoming balance change that is going in effect today. I'm not really sure how we really feel about it. I know a lot of people wanted Super Dragons nerfed. I just don't think this is a big enough nerf. In my personal opinion, I think the troop's going to be extremely good still. Same thing with the Dragon Riders. But I'm extremely excited. Over the next week, I'm going to be working on new army compositions for you guys and new ways we can make these dragons still work. Obviously, this is going to fall under our new line of attack strategies that I'm calling No Tricks, Just Trips. So we are going to continue to work on these new army compositions even after these nerfs, and we're going to be bringing you the easiest attacks to use to be successful in Legends League. If you guys missed yesterday's video, we were using old school Hydra, no clones, back to using some skeleton spells, rages, and a heal for some of these dragons, and absolutely destroying Legends League bases. If you guys like today's video, smash that like button for me. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells so you know when these videos are coming. We'll catch you next time.